As the first golden rays of dawn spill across the endless plains of Africa, a world both ancient and ever-changing awakens. The land stretches to the horizon, painted in hues of ochre and emerald, where the silhouettes of acacia trees stand as silent witnesses to the unfolding drama of life. This is a continent of contrasts, where breathtaking beauty is inseparable from harsh reality. The land is sculpted by the relentless sun, carved by seasonal rains, and shaped by the footsteps of millions of creatures. Here, the rules are dictated by nature's rawest instincts, and every day is a test of resilience, from the vast rolling grasslands of the Serengeti, where herds of wildebeest and zebra graze in their thousands, to the labyrinthine channels of the Okavango Delta, teeming with life. Every sunrise marks the beginning of a new struggle. The air is thick with anticipation as predators and prey alike prepare for the challenges ahead. Africa's wild heart beats in the footsteps of giants and the flutter of tiny wings. Elephants, the architects of the savannah, move in silent procession, shaping the landscape as they search for water and sustenance. In the undergrowth, armies of insects toil, recycling nutrients and supporting the very foundation of this ecosystem. At the apex of this intricate web stand the predators, creatures of extraordinary power and precision. Lions, with their regal manes and thunderous roars, command the grasslands. Leopards, elusive and solitary, haunt the shadows of ancient trees. Cheetahs, the embodiment of speed, streak across the plains in pursuit of fleeting prey. Wild dogs, masters of teamwork, orchestrate hunts with uncanny coordination. Hyenas, often misunderstood, are both formidable hunters and vital scavengers, ensuring nothing is wasted. These predators are not mindless killers. They are intelligent, social, and deeply attuned to their environment. Lion prides are bound by complex social ties, each member playing a role in the survival of the group. Wild dogs communicate with subtle gestures and vocalizations, their bonds unbreakable. Leopards, solitary yet fiercely protective, pass down knowledge from mother to cub, ensuring the next generation is prepared for the challenges ahead. Rivalries between these apex hunters are legendary. The clash between lion and hyena is a battle of strength and cunning, each vying for territory and dominance. Yet the predators do not rule unchallenged. For every hunter, there is the hunted, and Africa's prey animals are far from defenseless. Wildebeest and zebra, driven by ancient instincts, embark on epic migrations that span hundreds of kilometers. Their journey is fraught with peril, raging rivers, lurking crocodiles, and the ever-present threat of predators. Yet, their unity and endurance are their greatest weapons, allowing them to survive where the weak fall behind. The African buffalo, a fortress of muscle and horn, stands defiant against even the most determined lion pride. Thompson's gazelles, nimble and alert, rely on explosive speed and unpredictable sprints to evade capture. Each species has evolved a unique arsenal of defenses, from camouflage and warning calls to sheer physical prowess. Survival in Africa is a game of constant adaptation. Predators refine their strategies, learning from failed hunts and seizing every opportunity. Prey animals remain ever vigilant, their senses honed to detect the faintest hint of danger. The balance between hunter and hunted is delicate, maintained by a perpetual arms race of evolution. Yet the greatest challenge of all is the land itself. The African climate is unforgiving, swinging from the abundance of the wet season to the desolation of drought. Rivers shrink to cracked earth, and waterholes become arenas of desperation, where predator and prey are drawn together by necessity, and every sip can mean the difference between life and death. In places like Etosha, the few remaining water sources become lifelines for entire populations. Here, ancient rivalries are intensified, as the struggle for survival brings enemies face to face. Even as the natural world endures, the encroachment of change, fragmented habitats, shifting landscapes, adds new layers of complexity to this timeless contest. Africa's wild heart is a symphony of life, resilient, dynamic, and endlessly captivating. Every creature, from the smallest beetle to the mightiest elephant, is a vital note in this grand composition. Here, the story of survival is written anew each day, shaped by the relentless forces of nature and the indomitable spirit of the wild. The African lion, revered as the king of beasts, is a creature whose presence alone commands the savannah. Yet beneath this regal exterior lies a world of intricate social dynamics, sophisticated strategies, and constant challenges. A fully grown male, weighing up to 550 pounds, is the embodiment of power. His mane, thick and dark, is not just a display of strength and virility, but also a shield in battle, protecting his neck during violent confrontations with rivals. However, the lion's true strength is collective. The pride is a complex, tightly knit social unit, often consisting of several related lionesses, their offspring, and a coalition of one to several dominant males. Within this structure, each member has a defined role. Lionesses, usually sisters, mothers and daughters, form the stable core, while males are transient, their tenure determined by their ability to defend the pride from outside challengers. The pride's cohesion is its greatest asset. Through cooperation, lions are able to dominate vast territories, sometimes spanning over 100 square miles, and outcompete solitary predators. Male lions serve as both protectors and deterrents. Their roars, echoing across the plains for up to 5 miles, are both a declaration of ownership and a warning to intruders. These vocalizations, along with scent marking, are essential in maintaining territorial boundaries. Lionesses, meanwhile, are the pride's primary hunters. Their success depends on finely tuned teamwork, silent communication, and a deep understanding of their environment. During a hunt, lionesses employ sophisticated strategies. They move in formation, using the cover of tall grass and the shifting wind to mask their approach, often synchronizing their movements to encircle and isolate vulnerable prey. Some lionesses act as drivers, flushing prey towards hidden ambushes. This division of labor, honed by years of experience and familial bonds, is a hallmark of their hunting prowess. Despite their coordination, hunting is fraught with difficulty. Only about 1 in 4 hunts ends in success, as prey animals are swift, vigilant, and often fight back with lethal force. Every kill is a hard-won prize, fiercely defended from scavengers such as hyenas and jackals. The pride must eat quickly, as the commotion of a kill inevitably attracts competitors. Social bonds within the pride are maintained through grooming, play, and close physical contact. These interactions reinforce alliances and reduce tension, ensuring the group's stability. Lionesses share the responsibilities of motherhood, often nursing and protecting each other's cubs. This communal care increases the survival odds of the young, who are vulnerable to predators and starvation. Cubs benefit from the safety of numbers and the collective vigilance of the pride, learning essential skills through observation and play. The pride's stability is constantly threatened by the arrival of nomadic males. These outsiders, often brothers or cousins, form coalitions to challenge resident males for control. Territorial disputes are frequent and intense. Males patrol boundaries, scent marking and roaring to assert dominance. But when rivals encroach, violent confrontations are inevitable. These battles are brutal, with injuries common and death not uncommon. Only the strongest coalitions can seize and hold a pride, and even then, their reign is often short-lived. When new males take over, they may kill existing cubs, a harsh evolutionary tactic that brings females back into estrus, allowing the new rulers to sire their own offspring and secure their genetic legacy. Life for a lion is a constant balancing act between dominance and vulnerability. Even the most powerful individuals must remain vigilant, as threats can come from both within and outside the pride. Lions face formidable opposition from their prey. A buffalo's horns or a giraffe's kick can be fatal, and many hunts end in injury or failure. Prey animals have evolved powerful defenses, and lions must weigh the risks of each hunt, often abandoning dangerous targets in favor of safer opportunities. Competition with other predators, especially spotted hyenas, is relentless. Hyenas are formidable in numbers and will not hesitate to challenge lions for a meal, leading to frequent, noisy confrontations. Solitary lions, often young males, ousted from their natal pride, must navigate a perilous existence, avoiding established coalitions while searching for opportunities to claim territory and mates. To conserve energy for these demanding lives, lions rest for up to 20 hours a day. This energy-saving strategy is vital, as the explosive power required for hunting and fighting can only be sustained in short, intense bursts. In the world of lions, survival depends on cooperation, strategy, and the ever-present readiness for conflict. For centuries, the spotted hyena has been shrouded in myth and misconception, often dismissed as a mere scavenger, a skulking opportunist lurking in the shadows of Africa's wilderness. Yet this reputation belies the true nature of one of the continent's most remarkable and ecologically vital predators. Spotted hyenas are among the most intelligent of all carnivores, displaying problem-solving skills and social awareness rivaling those of primates. Their large brains support a complex behavioral repertoire, essential for survival in the competitive African landscape. Hyenas live in highly organized social units known as clans, which can number from a handful to over 100 individuals. These clans are not simply aggregations, but intricate societies with defined roles, relationships, and hierarchies. At the heart of each clan is a strict matriarchal structure. The alpha female, larger and more dominant than any male, leads with authority. Her lineage forms the core of the clan, and her offspring inherit her high rank, ensuring stability and continuity. Communication within the clan is sophisticated. The iconic laugh is just one of over a dozen distinct vocalizations, each serving a specific function, from rallying allies during a hunt to signaling submission to broadcasting excitement or distress. These calls can carry for kilometers, allowing hyenas to coordinate across vast distances. Far from being mere scavengers, spotted hyenas are formidable hunters. They employ endurance hunting, using their powerful limbs and stamina to pursue prey, often wildebeest, zebra, or antelope, over several kilometers, wearing down victims until they can be brought down by the clan. Studies show that up to 70% of a hyena's diet can come from their own kills, with the remainder opportunistically scavenged. Their acute sense of smell and hearing allows them to detect both live prey and carrion from great distances. During hunts, hyenas display remarkable teamwork. Individuals take on specialized roles. Some lead the chase, others flank or block escape routes. This coordination increases their success rate and allows them to tackle prey much larger than themselves. Their jaws are among the most powerful in the animal kingdom, exerting pressures capable of splintering the largest bones. This adaptation enables hyenas to access marrow and nutrients unavailable to most other predators, making them some of the most efficient consumers in the ecosystem. This efficiency brings them into direct competition with other apex predators, most notably lions. The two species are locked in a perpetual contest for territory and food, each testing the other's resolve and strength. Encounters between hyenas and lions are often tense and violent. Both species are capable of stealing kills from one another, and both suffer casualties in these high-stakes confrontations. The struggle for food is relentless. Hyenas use their numbers and coordination to harass and outmaneuver lions, while lions rely on their size and power to defend their meals. A single lion can easily dominate a few hyenas, but when a large clan assembles, even the king of beasts must yield or risk injury. In these moments, the collective strength of the clan is on full display. 15 or more hyenas can overwhelm a small group of lionesses using relentless pressure and teamwork to claim a hard-won meal. This rivalry is a driving force in the savannah, shaping the behavior, distribution, and evolution of both species. The balance of power shifts constantly, determined by numbers, strategy, and the boldness of individuals. Every encounter is a calculated risk, with the potential for both reward and fatal consequence. Within the clans, social bonds are maintained through ritualized greetings, grooming, and play. Cubs learn their place early, engaging in mock battles and social games that prepare them for adult life. The alpha female's authority is absolute. She asserts dominance through posture, vocalizations, and, when necessary, physical force. Her cubs enjoy privileges denied to lower-ranking members, including priority access to food. Rank is inherited maternally. High-ranking females pass their status to their daughters, creating dynasties that can persist for generations. Social order is reinforced through elaborate greeting ceremonies, where individuals display submission or dominance, reaffirming bonds and reducing conflict within the group. Physically, the hyena is built for endurance. Its sloping back, muscular neck, and robust forequarters allow it to travel long distances in search of food, often covering up to 50 kilometers in a single night. As both predator and scavenger, the spotted hyena plays a crucial ecological role. By consuming carrion and hunting live prey, they limit disease, recycle nutrients, and help maintain the balance of Africa's great ecosystems. With a lineage stretching back millions of years, the hyena is not only a survivor, but a keystone species, an indispensable architect of the wild. While lions and hyenas draw strength from numbers, Africa's wilds are also home to a remarkable cast of solitary hunters, predators who rely on their own cunning, agility, and specialized adaptations to survive in a landscape filled with danger and competition. The leopard, for instance, is the undisputed master of stealth. This elusive cat glides through the bush like a living shadow, its movements almost invisible to both prey and rival predators. Primarily nocturnal, the leopard uses the cover of darkness to stalk its quarry, relying on acute senses and a patient, methodical approach. Its beautifully spotted coat is more than just decoration, it's a masterwork of camouflage, breaking up the animal's outline in the dappled light of the forest or the tangled branches of a tree. The leopard's hunting technique is a study in patience. It creeps forward inch by inch, sometimes taking hours to close the distance, before launching a sudden, explosive attack from just a few yards away. Despite its relatively modest size, the leopard's strength is legendary. It can haul prey heavier than itself high into the branches, out of reach of scavengers like lions and hyenas. This arboreal larder allows the solitary cat to feed in peace, sometimes for days, safe from the ever-present threat of larger carnivores. The leopard's ability to exploit the vertical world of trees is a unique adaptation, carving out a niche where few rivals can follow. Its existence is defined by stealth, patience, and the clever use of its three-dimensional environment. In stark contrast, the cheetah is the embodiment of speed and precision. Built for the open plains, this slender cat is the fastest land mammal on Earth, capable of accelerating from 0 to over 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. Its entire body is engineered for the chase, a lightweight frame, long limbs, and a flexible spine that acts as a spring, propelling it forward in great bounds. Large nostrils and lungs gulp in oxygen, while semi-retractable claws grip the earth like the spikes of a sprinter's shoe. The cheetah's distinctive black tear marks are thought to reduce glare from the sun, helping it keep its eyes locked on fleeing prey. But this specialization comes at a cost. The cheetah's sprint is a high-stakes gamble, lasting no more than a minute before exhaustion and overheating set in. After such exertion, the cheetah is left vulnerable, forced to rest and recover, while larger predators may close in to steal its hard-won meal. This window of vulnerability is perilous, especially for mothers with cubs. Cheetah cubs face one of the highest mortality rates among Africa's predators, as they are easy targets for lions, hyenas, and even birds of prey. The cheetah's life is a constant race, not just against its prey, but against time, exhaustion, and the ever-present threat of rivals. Beyond the great cats, Africa's solitary hunters include the serval, a slender, long-legged feline that prowls the grasslands and wetlands. The serval's oversized ears act as parabolic dishes, detecting the faintest rustle of rodents or birds. With a sudden, vertical leap, It can snatch prey from the air or pounce with pinpoint accuracy. The caracal, another solitary feline, is famed for its acrobatic hunting style. With powerful hind legs, it can leap several meters into the air to snatch birds in flight, while its tawny coat provides perfect camouflage in arid scrub and savanna. Among mammals, the honey badger stands out for its tenacity and fearlessness. This small but formidable predator hunts alone, digging for rodents, raiding beehives, and even taking on venomous snakes. Its thick skin and relentless attitude make it a survivor in some of Africa's harshest environments. The aardwolf, a shy and nocturnal relative of the hyena, is a specialist in a very different kind of hunt. Feeding almost exclusively on termites, it uses its keen sense of smell and long, sticky tongue to harvest thousands of insects each night, avoiding confrontation with larger carnivores by keeping to the shadows. Even the black-backed jackal, often seen in pairs, is a skilled solitary hunter. It uses sharp hearing and quick reflexes to catch rodents, birds, and insects, adapting its diet to whatever the land provides. Across Africa, these solitary hunters have evolved a dazzling array of strategies and adaptations. Whether through stealth, speed, agility, or sheer audacity, they carve out a living in a world where every day is a test of survival. Alone, but never outmatched, they are the silent masters of their domains, each a testament to the power of individuality in the wild. Section 5. The Painted Wolves, a Symphony of Teamwork. The African wild dog, also known as the painted wolf for its beautiful mottled coat, is perhaps the most efficient and cooperative hunter on the continent. These are not lone wolves, but social animals that live and hunt in tight-knit packs. A pack is an extended family, usually led by a dominant alpha pair, and the bonds between its members are incredibly strong. This social cohesion is the secret to their success. They communicate through a series of chirps, yips, and hoots, coordinating their movements with remarkable precision. Every member of the pack plays a role, from hunting to caring for the pups and sick individuals. Their hunting strategy is a masterclass in teamwork and endurance. Unlike the short burst of a cheetah, wild dogs are pursuit hunters. They can maintain speeds of over 40 miles per hour for extended periods, running their prey to the point of utter exhaustion. The chase is a fluid and dynamic affair, with different dogs taking turns to lead while others run alongside, cutting off escape routes. Their hunting success rate is astonishingly high, often reaching between 70 and 90%, making them the most successful large carnivores in Africa. They work together with a single-minded purpose that is both beautiful and terrifying to behold. Once a kill has been made, the pack's cooperative nature continues. There is very little squabbling over the food. Instead, the dogs eat quickly and efficiently. A unique behavior among wild dogs is regurgitation. After a hunt, the successful hunters will return to the den and bring up meat for the pups and any adults who stayed behind to guard them. This ensures that the whole pack benefits from a successful hunt, strengthening the social bonds and increasing the chances of survival for the next generation. This selfless sharing is a hallmark of their society and a key reason for their pack's resilience in a harsh environment. Sadly, this incredible species is one of Africa's most endangered predators. With only an estimated 6,600 individuals left in the wild, the painted wolf faces an uncertain future. They are highly susceptible to diseases like canine distemper, often contracted from domestic dogs. Their large territories also bring them into frequent conflict with humans and their livestock. Habitat loss and fragmentation are shrinking their world, making it harder for packs to find the space they need to roam and hunt. Protecting these remarkable team players requires a concerted effort to preserve the vast, wild spaces they call home. In the African savanna, the boundary between predator and prey is never absolute. Here, survival is a contest of wits, strength, and strategy, where the hunted are far from helpless, While predators possess speed, stealth, and lethal weaponry, their prey have evolved an astonishing array of defenses, turning every hunt into a high-stakes gamble where the tables can turn in an instant. The African buffalo is a master of resistance. With a reputation for unpredictability and raw power, it stands as one of the most formidable adversaries a predator can face. Weighing up to 2,000 pounds and crowned with a boss of fused horns, the buffalo is built for battle. Its horns are not just for show, they are weapons, wielded with precision and force. Buffaloes are fiercely intelligent and possess a remarkable memory. They can recognize individual predators and have been known to seek retribution, targeting lions that have previously attacked their herd. Even a full pride of lions approaches a buffalo herd with trepidation. The risk of injury or death is ever present, and a single miscalculation can prove fatal for the hunter. The buffalo's greatest weapon, however, is unity. When danger looms, the herd bands together, presenting a wall of muscle and horn that few predators dare to challenge. In moments of crisis, buffaloes form a living fortress, adults on the perimeter, calves shielded at the core. This collective defense is a powerful deterrent, making it nearly impossible for predators to isolate the vulnerable. Should a predator manage to seize a member, the herd responds with overwhelming force. Buffaloes will charge en masse, trampling and goring, often rescuing their own and sending attackers fleeing for their lives. This mobbing behavior is not just defensive, it is aggressive and has been known to drive off, maim, or even kill lions. For the buffalo, survival is a team effort, and every member plays a role. A wounded buffalo, cornered and enraged, becomes one of Africa's most dangerous creatures. Its determination to survive is matched only by its capacity for violence, a stark reminder that herbivores are not always the victims. The rhinoceros, another giant of the plains, is equally formidable. Its size and strength command respect, and its defenses are nearly impenetrable. A full-grown black rhino is a living tank, 3,000 pounds of muscle, protected by thick armor-like skin. Its presence alone is enough to deter most would-be attackers. Though its eyesight is limited, the rhino's senses of smell and hearing are acute, allowing it to detect threats long before they approach. When threatened, the rhino's response is swift and decisive. With its powerful horn lowered, it charges with astonishing speed, capable of inflicting devastating injuries on any adversary. Few predators dare to challenge a healthy adult rhino. Even lions and hyenas, the savanna's most notorious hunters, keep their distance, knowing the cost of a failed attack. For these giants, the greatest threats come not from other animals, but from the relentless challenges of their environment and the constant need to defend themselves from all sides. Even the smaller inhabitants of the savanna are not without means of defense. Antelope rely on vigilance and speed, but when cornered, they can deliver sharp kicks or use their horns to fend off attackers. Warthogs, with their surprising courage, will stand their ground, brandishing their tusks and charging at predators much larger than themselves. The warthog's tusks are formidable weapons, capable of inflicting deep wounds. A reckless leopard or cheetah risks serious injury if it underestimates this tenacious opponent. Zebras, too, are not defenseless. Their powerful hind legs can deliver kicks strong enough to break a lion's jaw, a crippling blow for any predator. Porcupines wield a different kind of armor. Their sharp quills are a painful deterrent, teaching young predators a harsh lesson that is rarely forgotten. Across the savanna, these defensive strategies, whether strength in numbers, physical weaponry, or sheer determination, ensure that every hunt is fraught with risk. Prey animals are not passive, they are active participants in the struggle for survival. For every predator, the decision to attack is a careful calculation. The reward of a meal must be weighed against the very real danger of injury or death, a balance that shapes the daily drama of Africa's wild heart. In the vast, open landscapes of Africa, survival is a relentless contest of speed, agility, and instinct. For many prey animals, the most effective defense is not confrontation, but the art of escape, honed over millennia of evolution. The ability to outrun, outmaneuver, and outthink predators is a matter of life and death. Each species has developed specialized adaptations, from explosive acceleration to split-second changes in direction, that tip the scales in their favor. The Thomson's gazelle, for example, is a paragon of high-speed evasion. While it cannot quite match the cheetah's top speed, it can reach over 50 miles per hour and, crucially, can maintain this pace for longer distances. Its lightweight frame, elongated limbs, and flexible spine allow for rapid acceleration and sudden, unpredictable changes in direction. One of the gazelle's most remarkable tactics is its zigzag escape pattern. By making abrupt, sharp turns, it forces pursuing predators, especially the cheetah, whose body is built for straight-line speed, to overcorrect and lose momentum. This agility can reduce a predator's hunting success by as much as 70%. Gazelles also employ a behavior known as stotting or pronking, leaping high into the air with all four legs stiff. Though it appears wasteful, this display serves multiple evolutionary purposes. It acts as an alarm, alerting the herd to danger, and as a signal to predators, advertising the individual's fitness and vigor. By stotting, the gazelle communicates its strength and health, deterring predators from wasting energy on a likely futile chase. This is a sophisticated evolutionary strategy, an honest signal that can influence a predator's decision-making in real time. The contest between predator and prey is a psychological duel as much as a physical one. The swift must not only run, but anticipate, feint, and outwit their pursuers, leveraging every evolutionary advantage. On a grander scale, the great migration of wildebeest and zebra is a testament to survival through movement. Over 1 million animals embark on a grueling 1,800-mile journey, following the rains in search of fresh grazing. This epic migration is a dynamic strategy, reducing the risk of predation by sheer numbers and constant motion. Safety in numbers is a powerful evolutionary tool. In tightly packed herds, the odds of any one individual being targeted diminish, and the confusion of mass movement makes it difficult for predators to isolate a single target. Yet, the journey is fraught with peril. River crossings become deadly gauntlets, where Nile crocodiles exploit the chaos, preying on the weak and the unwary. Only the most alert and agile survive these natural bottlenecks. Zebras, too, have evolved unique defenses. Their bold stripes, long a subject of scientific debate, may serve as a form of visual disruption. In a running herd, the shifting patterns create a confusing optical illusion, making it difficult for predators to focus on a single animal. These stripes may also deter biting insects and help regulate body temperature, subtle evolutionary advantages that contribute to the zebra's survival. Combined with a powerful kick and a top speed of 40 miles per hour, the zebra is a formidable quarry. Across the savannah, every swift animal writes its own chapter in the story of survival. Through speed, agility, and ingenious tactics, they have adapted to a world where only the most resourceful endure. These are the secrets of the swift, nature's ultimate test of evolutionary excellence. Beyond the daily battles between predator and prey, Africa's wildlife faces immense environmental challenges that shape every aspect of their existence. These forces, drought, fire, and habitat loss, are as relentless as any hunter, and their impact is felt across the continent. The climate is a formidable and unpredictable adversary. Extended droughts driven by shifting weather patterns and climate change can last for months, pushing ecosystems to the brink. In places like Etosha National Park, the rhythm of life is dictated by the arrival and departure of the rains. When the dry season stretches on, water sources dwindle and the land becomes a harsh, unforgiving expanse. From May to October, the dry season brings immense hardship. Grasses wither, dust fills the air, and animals must travel ever greater distances in search of food and water. Rivers recede to a trickle, and waterholes shrink to muddy remnants. The competition for these vital resources intensifies, drawing animals from miles around. Herds of zebra, antelope, and elephants gather at the last remaining waterholes, their survival dependent on access to these precious pools. The scarcity of water forces species that might otherwise avoid each other into close proximity. These gatherings create scenes of extraordinary tension. Predators and prey are drawn together, each acutely aware of the risks and opportunities that come with every visit to the water's edge. Lions, hyenas, and other carnivores exploit these moments, lying in wait for weakened or distracted animals. Prey species must remain vigilant, their senses heightened by thirst and fear. Every drink is a gamble. Gazelles and antelope drink quickly, heads snapping up at the slightest sound, knowing that danger is never far away. For predators, the dry season is both opportunity and challenge. Prey is concentrated, but competition among hunters is fierce, and only the most skilled succeed. During severe droughts, such as those seen in recent years, the balance tips toward crisis. Animals grow thin, mortality rises, and entire populations can be pushed to the edge of collapse. Yet when the rains finally return, the transformation is dramatic. Parched earth erupts in green, and herds disperse once more, following ancient migration routes to new pastures. This cycle of hardship and renewal is the foundation of adaptation in Africa's wild places. Fire is another powerful force, both destructive and regenerative. Natural wildfires, often sparked by lightning, sweep across the savanna, consuming dry grasses and clearing the way for new growth. Many plant species have evolved to survive fire, with seeds that germinate only after exposure to intense heat, and roots that quickly send up new shoots once the flames pass. This resilience allows the ecosystem to recover rapidly, providing fresh grazing for herbivores and supporting the return of predators. However, when fires become too frequent or intense, often due to human influence, the balance is lost. Habitats are destroyed faster than they can regenerate, and wildlife is left with nowhere to go. Habitat loss compounds these challenges. As wild areas are converted to farmland or fragmented by development, the space available for migration and adaptation shrinks. Isolated populations become more vulnerable to disease, inbreeding, and environmental change. The ability to move freely, to follow the rains, escape fire, or find new territory is essential for survival. Roads, fences, and settlements disrupt ancient migration routes, cutting off access to critical resources and fragmenting once continuous habitats. This fragmentation leads to genetic isolation, reducing the resilience of populations and increasing the risk of local extinctions. Recent studies have shown that these barriers are already impacting the genetic health and long-term viability of species like wildebeest, whose survival depends on large, connected landscapes. For wide-ranging predators such as wild dogs, the loss of open territory threatens not just their ability to hunt, but the very fabric of Africa's predator-prey dynamics. As the world shrinks, the struggle for survival grows ever more complex, demanding new strategies of adaptation and resilience from all who call these wild places home. Across the vast African savanna, a silent choreography unfolds each day, a perpetual interplay between predator and prey, shaped by countless generations of evolution. This is a world where every movement, every decision, and every adaptation is a matter of life and death. Each species, from the smallest antelope to the mightiest lion, is woven into a tapestry of survival, their destinies intertwined in a delicate equilibrium. Predators have honed their senses and skills to perfection. The lioness, cloaked in golden grass, moves with calculated patience. The cheetah, built for explosive speed, waits for the perfect moment to strike. The leopard, ever watchful, surveys the world from the safety of the trees. Their targets are rarely the strongest. Instead, they single out the weak, the old, and the sick, nature's way of ensuring that only the fittest survive and thrive. In turn, the herds of herbivores are ever vigilant, their survival dependent on keen senses and collective awareness. Their numbers ebb and flow with the seasons, shaped by rainfall, food availability, and the ever-present threat of predation. The calls of predators echo across the plains, signaling both danger and the health of the ecosystem. These sounds are the pulse of the wild, reminders of the constant tension that sustains the land. The balance is never static. As the rains return, grass flourishes and herds multiply, drawing predators in their wake. In the dry season, waterholes shrink and the struggle intensifies, testing the resilience and ingenuity of every creature. When prey populations surge, predators prosper, raising more young and expanding their territories. Yet abundance is fleeting, and the cycle soon turns. Drought brings hardship. Herbivores weaken, and opportunistic hunters like hyenas seize their chance, shifting the balance once more. Each encounter is a lesson in adaptation. Prey develop sharper senses, swifter legs, and tighter social bonds. Predators refine their strategies, learning to anticipate and outmaneuver their quarry. When the hunt is over, scavengers arrive. Marabou storks and vultures, nature's final caretakers. They cleanse the land, recycling nutrients and preventing disease, completing the cycle of life and death. Every animal, every adaptation is a vital piece of this living puzzle. Remove one, and the entire system trembles. The web of life here is intricate and fragile, held together by countless connections forged over millennia. Each day the cycle renews itself. Lion cubs learn to stalk in the shadows, cheetah cubs practice their sprints, and wildebeest calves take their first uncertain steps, all shaped by the relentless demands of survival. Even the rarest creatures, like the black rhino and the African wild dog, have carved out their own unique roles, their fates bound to the fortunes of the land and its inhabitants. Should a top predator vanish, the consequences ripple outward. Herbivore numbers swell, vegetation is stripped bare, and the very foundation of the ecosystem begins to crumble. The integrity of these wild places depends on the continued presence of every player in this ancient drama, from the smallest insect to the most formidable hunter. As dawn breaks over the plains, the cycle begins anew. The air is thick with anticipation, every creature attuned to the rhythms of the land. On the Serengeti, a lioness crouches low, her cubs mimicking her every move, learning the ancient art of the hunt through play and observation. In the Okavango Delta, wild dogs move as one, their coordinated strategies a marvel of social adaptation, each member playing a crucial role in the pursuit of prey. Across the continent, herds migrate in search of greener pastures, their journeys shaping the fortunes of predators and prey alike, driving the pulse of the ecosystem. Through drought and flood, feast and famine, the animals of Africa endure, each adaptation a testament to their resilience, each generation a new chapter in the story of survival. This is the endless dance of predator and prey, a masterpiece of natural balance, forever unfolding beneath the African sky. It is a legacy written in tooth and claw, in speed and cunning, in the unbreakable will to survive. And as long as this dance continues, the wild heart of Africa will endure. As daylight fades and the African sky deepens into velvet, a different world awakens. Under the cover of darkness, the savannah transforms. Here, in the cool embrace of night, Africa's most elusive hunters emerge, masters of stealth and adaptation, honed by evolution to thrive where the eye can barely see. The leopard, solitary and silent, becomes a phantom among the trees. With padded paws and a coat dappled like moonlight through leaves, it glides through the undergrowth, nearly invisible. Its vision, 6 times more sensitive to light than that of its prey, pierces the gloom. The leopard's ears swivel, catching the faintest rustle. A bushbuck grazing, unaware. In a single, explosive leap, the hunt is swift and decisive. High in the branches, the leopard caches its prize, safe from rivals until dawn. On the open plains, the spotted hyena clan takes command of the darkness. Far from mere scavengers, they are formidable hunters, coordinated and fearless. Their powerful jaws, capable of crushing bone, are matched only by their intelligence and teamwork. At night, hyenas communicate with haunting whoops and cackles, rallying the clan for a hunt. Their keen night vision and acute sense of smell guide them to vulnerable prey, often outpacing even the lions in success. The African civet, lesser known but no less skilled, prowls the shadows along riverbanks and thickets. Its black and white markings blend with the dappled moonlight, masking its approach. Equipped with whiskers sensitive to the subtlest vibrations, the civet detects insects, frogs, and rodents hidden from sight. Its diet is as varied as the night itself, a testament to adaptability. Meanwhile, the serval, with its oversized ears, listens intently for the faint scurry of a mouse in the grass. These solitary cats excel at hunting by sound, leaping high to pounce with uncanny precision. Even the aardwolf, a shy insectivore, emerges to lap up termites under the safety of darkness, avoiding larger predators who dominate the day. Nocturnal life is a constant negotiation, a balance of risk and reward. Predators must outwit not only their prey, but each other. Lions, typically diurnal, often exploit the night's confusion to ambush sleeping antelope and buffalo, their roars echoing across the plains. The competition is fierce. Hyenas shadow lion prides, hoping to steal a meal, while leopards slip away, relying on secrecy to avoid confrontation. In the inky blackness, every sense is sharpened. Eyes reflect the faintest starlight, noses twitch at distant scents, and ears capture the subtle symphony of the night. The boundary between hunter and hunted is blurred, an ongoing contest of adaptation and survival. As the first hints of dawn color the horizon, the nocturnal world retreats. Predators find shelter, licking wounds or savoring the spoils of a successful hunt. The secrets of the night remain hidden, witnessed only by those adapted to its darkness. Yet, as day breaks, the cycle of life continues, each night's drama shaping the fate of Africa's wild heart. This is the realm of shadows, a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of nature's most enigmatic hunters, forever thriving where others dare not tread. Beyond the visible drama of tooth and claw, another world unfolds, one written in invisible ink, decipherable only to those who call the savannah home. For Africa's predators, scent is more than a mere trace. It is a powerful language woven through grass and wind, carrying messages that shape survival, hierarchy, and kinship. A lone lioness pauses at the edge of her pride's territory, her nose twitching as she inhales the air. The faint, musky signature of a rival pride lingers on a low-hanging branch, a warning, a challenge, a boundary drawn without a sound. With a deliberate rub, she leaves her own mark, blending her scent with those of her sisters. These olfactory signposts form invisible frontiers, reducing conflict and guiding the movements of entire prides across the plains. Leopards, solitary by nature, are masters of silent conversation. Males patrol winding paths beneath the trees, spraying urine in precise, elevated arcs, each droplet a coded message. To passing rivals, it is a declaration of dominance and presence. To potential mates, it is an invitation, a promise of strength and genetic fitness. Even after the leopard has vanished, its intentions linger, readable to any nose that dares to follow. Hyenas, ever social and strategic, use communal latrines, mounds of droppings that serve as bulletin boards for the clan. Here, scent is layered and complex, carrying information about health, status, and reproductive readiness. When a hyena returns from a hunt, it greets its clan with ritualized sniffing and mutual grooming, reinforcing social bonds and sharing the story of the night's exploits. A sudden change in scent, a whiff of fear, excitement, or unfamiliarity can rally the group or signal urgent danger. For the African wild dog, scent is the glue that binds the pack. Before each hunt, they engage in an exuberant chorus of whines and tail wags, mingling scents through close contact. This ritual synchronizes the group, heightening unity and focus. As they race across the plains, The lead dog marks the route, guiding the pack along invisible trails only they can perceive. Even the smallest predators rely on this unseen language. The civet and the serval, patrolling their nocturnal realms, mark rocks and roots with glandular secretions, mapping their domains and avoiding unnecessary conflict. The aardwolf, shy and reclusive, leaves subtle trails of scent to avoid larger, more dangerous competitors. Scent does more than define territory. It signals alarm. When danger lurks, a sudden burst of musk or a sharp, acrid note warns others to flee or prepare for battle. These silent alarms ripple across the landscape, shaping the movements of predators and prey alike. In Africa's wild heart, the language of scent is ancient and intricate, binding individuals and clans, marking histories and futures across the endless expanse. It is a dialogue of survival, silent, enduring, and as vital as the hunt itself. Through this invisible web, predators navigate a world where every breath carries a message, and every step writes a new chapter in the ongoing story of life. As the African sun tilts on its yearly axis, the land transforms. Lush green savannas wither to brittle gold, and swollen rivers shrink to winding ribbons of mud. These seasonal shifts are more than a change of scenery. They are the heartbeat of Africa, orchestrating the lives of predator and prey alike. With the first promise of rain, wildebeest and zebra herds surge northward, embarking on epic migrations that stretch across hundreds of miles. Their movement is not random. It is a calculated response to the scent of distant storms and the promise of fresh grazing. This mass migration is a banquet for predators. Lions and hyenas track the herds, their strategies evolving with the tides of abundance and scarcity. When prey is plentiful, prides expand and cubs thrive, but as the dry season tightens its grip, competition intensifies and only the most resilient survive. For cheetahs, the lean months demand innovation. These solitary hunters adjust their territories, shadowing the edges of herds and timing their hunts to the fleeting cool of dawn and dusk. Mothers with young cubs must balance the need for stealth with the urgency of nourishment, often moving under cover of darkness to avoid detection by larger, more aggressive carnivores. Seasonal changes also dictate the rhythm of breeding. The rains trigger a symphony of new life. Antelope calves are born in synchrony, overwhelming predators with sheer numbers and increasing the odds of survival for each individual. Predators, too, time their breeding cycles to coincide with this bounty. Lionesses give birth in the thickest cover, and wild dog pups emerge from their dens just as prey becomes most abundant. The brief window of plenty is a race against time. Young predators must learn to hunt before the landscape dries and food becomes scarce. As waterholes evaporate, the rules of engagement shift. Crocodiles lie in wait at the last remaining pools, while leopards and servals become more daring, venturing closer to the shrinking water's edge. Prey animals gather in uneasy congregations, forced into close quarters by necessity, their vigilance stretched to the limit. Some, like the aardwolf and bat-eared fox, adapt by switching diets, turning to termites and insects that flourish in the dry heat. Others, such as the elusive caracal, retreat to rocky outcrops or dense thickets, conserving energy and waiting for the return of rain. Through every cycle, survival hinges on flexibility. The dance of predator and prey is never static. It is a continuous adaptation to the ever-changing pulse of the land. In Africa's wild heart, the seasons are both sculptor and judge, shaping the destinies of all who call this place home. Beneath the drama of the chase and the roar of the hunt, another cast of characters quietly shapes the African wilderness, the Scavengers. Beyond the infamous hyena clans lies a network of specialists and opportunists, each playing a crucial role in the continent's cycle of life and death. High above, the sky is seldom empty. Vultures, white-backed, lappet-faced, and Ripple's griffins, soar in patient spirals, their keen eyes scanning for the telltale glint of fresh carrion. With wingspans that can reach nearly 3 meters, they are the first responders to a predator's leftovers. Their arrival is swift and efficient. Within minutes, dozens descend in a flurry of feathers, their sharp beaks tearing through hide and sinew that even lions leave behind. By consuming every scrap, vultures halt the spread of disease, transforming death into renewal. On the ground, the golden jackal and the black-backed jackal prowl the periphery of the kill. Smaller and more agile than most predators, they are masters of timing, darting in when the commotion dies down, snatching morsels overlooked by larger scavengers. Their calls, sharp and yipping, echo across the plains, alerting others to hidden feasts. In times of scarcity, jackals become resourceful omnivores, turning to fruits, insects, and even small reptiles to survive. Lesser-known scavengers also claim their share. The marabou stork, with its stately stride and formidable bill, stalks carcasses with a grim patience, feasting on anything from bone fragments to rotting flesh. The bateleur eagle, too, is drawn to the aftermath of kills, plucking at remains with swift precision. Even the tiniest residents have a part to play. Dung beetles swarm to the scene, rolling and burying what's left behind, enriching the soil and fueling new growth. Termites and ants dismantle the final traces, ensuring that nothing is wasted. Together, these scavengers form a hidden web of clean-up crews, vigilant, efficient, and indispensable. Their work is silent but vital, preventing disease, recycling nutrients, and keeping the savanna in balance. In the grand narrative of Africa's wild heart, they are the unsung custodians, turning endings into beginnings and ensuring that life, in all its forms, endures. Across the African wilderness, water is more than a mere necessity. It is the axis upon which the fate of predator and prey spins. In a land defined by cycles of abundance and drought, every river, lake, and ephemeral pool becomes a stage for the continent's most dramatic encounters. As the sun rises, herds of antelope, zebra, and buffalo approach the water's edge with practiced caution. Instinct tells them that thirst is never the only danger waiting in the shimmering heat. Hidden in the reeds, the stealthy crocodile lies in wait, its eyes barely breaking the surface. It is the ultimate ambush predator, relying on patience and explosive power. A single misstep, a moment's distraction, and the water erupts in a spray of violence, life lost in an instant, the cycle of predation renewed. But crocodiles are not the only hunters drawn to these liquid lifelines. Lions, leopards, and wild dogs understand the rules of scarcity. During the dry season, when waterholes shrink and grasslands brown, these predators converge on the remaining pools. Here, the boundaries between rival species blur. Competition is fierce, not only between hunter and hunted, but among the hunters themselves. A pride of lions may stake claim to the muddy banks, their presence deterring even the boldest hyenas. Yet a solitary leopard, cloaked in shadow, may slip through the margins, choosing patience over confrontation. For prey, the challenge is relentless. Every approach to drink is a calculated risk, every sip a gamble against the odds. Elephants, with their size and strength, often lead the way, their arrivals scattering smaller animals and momentarily pushing back the predators. Yet even giants cannot linger. The pressure of thirst draws all creatures back, again and again, into the web of danger spun around every water source. When drought deepens and water becomes a memory, survival strategies shift. Some predators, like the cheetah, avoid crowded waterholes altogether, relying on the moisture found in their prey. Others, such as painted wolves, time their hunts for the desperate hours when the weakest must drink. For all, the scarcity of water magnifies every choice, every encounter, every heartbeat. In the end, the waterhole is both sanctuary and battleground, a crucible where the laws of nature are tested and only the most adaptable endure. Here, the influence of water shapes not just individual destinies, but the very rhythm of life and death on the African plains. Beneath the golden grasses and dappled shadows of the African wilderness, survival often depends not on brute strength, but on the art of remaining unseen. For many of Africa's most formidable predators, camouflage and stealth are the silent weapons that tip the scales between hunger and the hunt's reward. The leopard, draped in a robe of rosettes, is perhaps the continent's most elusive stalker. Its coat, a mosaic of black and gold, vanishes against the broken patterns of sun and shadow. With each deliberate step, the leopard melts into its surroundings, muscles coiled, breathing slowed, every movement calculated to avoid detection. This mastery of concealment allows it to approach within striking distance of unsuspecting prey, often mere meters away, before unleashing its explosive attack. Lions, though more social and robust, also wield the power of stealth. The tawny hues of their fur blend seamlessly with the dry savanna, while cubs are born with faint spots that help them hide from danger in the grass. Lionesses, the pride's principal hunters, use the land itself as cover, crouching low, advancing in synchrony, their approach masked by terrain and wind. Timing and teamwork are their allies, but so is the ability to vanish until the final, fatal rush. Among the most ingenious are the painted wolves, or African wild dogs. Their mottled coats, splashed with brown, black and white, break up their outlines, confusing both prey and rival predators. When hunting, they move with silent coordination, fanning out and circling herds, using the brush and dusklight to cloak their approach. Even the smallest hunters employ deception. The serval, slender and long-legged, stalks through tall grass, its spotted body obscured by vegetation. Patient and poised, it listens for the faintest rustle before pouncing in a blur of precision. Camouflage is not only about color but also about behavior. Many predators freeze at the slightest hint of discovery, relying on stillness as a shield. Some, like the crocodile, submerge almost entirely, revealing only a ripple or a glint of an eye above the waterline. Others, like the chameleon, change their skin tone to match bark and leaves, masters of invisibility in miniature. For these creatures, the ability to blend in is more than survival, it is opportunity. In a world where the keenest senses can mean the difference between life and death, the unseen hunter holds the greatest advantage. Through millions of years, Africa's predators have honed their disguises, adapting not just to the eyes of their prey, but to the ever-changing canvas of their homeland. In the delicate balance of the wild, camouflage and stealth are equalizers, allowing the patient, the clever, and the hidden to thrive in a landscape where every shadow could be a hunter, and every whisper of movement a chance at survival. In the heart of Africa, every predator begins life not as a master but as an apprentice. For the young, lion cubs, leopard kittens, cheetah cubs, and even fledgling hyenas, the wild is a relentless classroom, and the lessons are often harsh. From their first uncertain steps, young predators are surrounded by danger. Inexperience is their greatest vulnerability. Lion cubs, hidden in dense thickets, must learn to stay still and silent, for danger comes not only from rival predators, but from the ever-watchful eyes of buffalo, elephants, and even the unrelenting sun. Leopard kittens, stashed high in the crook of a tree or deep within rocky dens, watch their mother hunt, absorbing every crouch and calculated pause, imprinting the choreography of the stalk long before they dare to try it themselves. Learning to hunt is a gradual, painstaking process. Play is their first teacher. Young cheetahs chase insects, wrestle with siblings, and practice pouncing on tufts of grass. Each clumsy leap is a rehearsal for the split-second decisions that will one day determine survival. Lion cubs shadow their mothers on hunts, mimicking her every move, while hyena pups spar with littermates, building strength and testing strategies that will serve them in the competitive clan hierarchy. But the wild is unforgiving. Mistakes are costly. A young predator that wanders too far risks becoming prey itself, falling victim to crocodiles at the water's edge. eagles overhead, or even the jaws of rival carnivores. Hunger is a constant companion. Failed hunts are more common than successes, and only through repeated trial and error do the young sharpen their skills. Socialization is as vital as stealth and strength. In the den, or at the heart of the pride, bonds are forged through grooming, play, and gentle nips. These early connections teach the language of the group, subtle cues of dominance, submission, and cooperation. For pack hunters like wild dogs, understanding the rhythm of the group is essential. A single misstep can mean the difference between feast and famine, acceptance and exile. Patience, resilience, and adaptability become their greatest assets. Nature's lessons are often cruel, but they are also transformative. With every failed hunt, every narrow escape, and every shared meal, the young predators inch closer to adulthood. In time, the timid cub becomes the stealthy hunter, the clumsy pup the relentless chaser, and the uncertain kitten the silent stalker of the night. In Africa's wild heart, the journey from vulnerable youth to formidable predator is a saga of survival, shaped by hardship and honed by instinct. For each generation, the wild demands everything: courage, cunning, and above all, the will to endure. In the ancient wilds of Africa, the greatest threats to its legendary predators no longer always come with claws or fangs. Instead, a quieter, more insidious battle is unfolding, one waged against forces that reshape the very fabric of their world. Invasive species, introduced by accident or intent, are rewriting the rules of survival. Hardy, fast-growing plants like the prickly pear and lantana creep across grasslands, outcompeting native vegetation and choking out the delicate balance that sustains grazers. As herds dwindle or shift their ranges, lions, cheetahs, and leopards find their hunting grounds transformed, prey harder to track, cover scarcer, and the ancient choreography of predator and prey disrupted. Some invaders are more mobile. Non-native fish released into rivers and lakes outcompete or prey upon the aquatic species that once fed crocodiles and fish-eating birds. Even the smallest changes ripple outward. Fewer fish mean less food for otters and storks, and a chain of scarcity that echoes up to the apex predators. But perhaps the most profound impact comes from the relentless march of human encroachment. Expanding farms, roads, and settlements fracture once continuous wilderness into isolated pockets. Fences and highways block ancient migration routes, separating predators from their prey and fragmenting populations. The rhythm of the wild is broken, replaced by uncertainty. Adaptation becomes a necessity. Some predators, like leopards and hyenas, prove remarkably resilient, learning to navigate the patchwork of human-altered landscapes, hunting near villages or scavenging at the margins. Others, more specialized or less adaptable, find their numbers dwindling, their territories shrinking. Yet amidst these challenges, hope endures. Across Africa, conservationists and local communities are forging new alliances. Corridors are being restored, connecting fragmented habitats. Invasive plants are cleared, and native species reintroduced to heal scarred ecosystems. Innovative solutions, from wildlife overpasses to community-led reserves, offer predators a lifeline, a chance to reclaim their place in the wild mosaic. The struggle is ongoing and the outcome uncertain. But in the face of change, Africa's predators continue to adapt, endure, and inspire. Their survival depends not only on their own resilience, but on the choices humanity makes to protect, to restore, and to coexist. The wild heart of Africa beats on, challenged yet unbroken, as ancient predators confront a new era of unseen threats. In Africa's intricate tapestry of life, survival is rarely a solitary endeavor. Beyond the drama of the hunt and the chase, predators are woven into a subtle web of relationships, alliances forged not by blood, but by the quiet logic of mutual benefit. Here, symbiosis flourishes in unexpected places, shaping the fortunes of the continent's most formidable hunters. Mutualism, where both partners gain, thrives in the savanna. Watch closely as a pride of lions lounges beneath the shade of an acacia. Nearby, oxpecker birds flit and perch atop their tawny hosts, plucking ticks and parasites from fur and skin. The birds feast while the lions enjoy relief from tormenting pests. This partnership, though seemingly minor, can improve the health and hunting prowess of the pride. Elsewhere, commensalism reveals itself in the silent shadow of the hunt. Jackals and bat-eared foxes trail behind cheetahs and wild dogs, alert to the promise of scraps left behind. These smaller carnivores benefit from the remains of a kill, while the primary hunters remain largely unaffected. In the aftermath, vultures descend, nature's clean-up crew, ensuring that nothing goes to waste. Their sharp eyes and keen senses even serve as an early warning system, alerting other predators to potential dangers lurking nearby. Some of Africa's most fascinating symbiotic ties are indirect, their influence rippling across the ecosystem. Consider the relationship between crocodiles and fish-eating birds. When herons and storks gather at the riverbanks, their presence can flush out prey, making it easier for lurking crocodiles to strike. In turn, the reptiles' leftovers provide rich pickings for the birds, a dance of opportunity played out along Africa's waterways. Yet not all alliances are so direct. The presence of apex predators, like leopards and hyenas, shapes the very behavior of herbivores, who alter their grazing patterns and movements in response. This, in turn, influences the distribution of plant life, creating microhabitats that benefit countless other species. Through fear and presence alone, predators become architects of diversity. These symbiotic threads, often invisible at first glance, are vital to the resilience of Africa's wild heart. They bind predator and prey, scavenger and hunter in a dynamic balance, one where survival is not just a matter of strength or cunning, but of connection. In every alliance, the story of Africa's predators grows richer, revealing a world where even the fiercest depend on the smallest, and where the web of life is both fragile and profound. As the African sun rises over endless grasslands and ancient forests, the continent's predators stand at a crossroads. Their world, shaped by millennia of evolution and intricate alliances, now faces challenges more formidable than any rival or drought. The future of lions, leopards, wild dogs, and their kin is being rewritten by forces beyond their control. Climate change creeps across the savanna, shifting the patterns of rain and heat. Rivers that once brimmed with life now run dry for months on end. Prey species wander farther in search of water, and with every migration, predators must adapt or perish. Some, like the cheetah, struggle as open plains become fragmented by encroaching woodland. Others, like the adaptable leopard, find new opportunities in shrinking forests, but at a cost. Competition intensifies and old territories vanish. Yet the greatest threat is neither drought nor flood, but the relentless expansion of the human world. Fences carve the wild into ever smaller islands, isolating predator populations and cutting off ancient migratory routes. Livestock replace herds of wildebeest, settlements glow where once only starlight reigned. In these fractured landscapes, conflict simmers. Predators, desperate and bold, may turn to livestock, fueling cycles of retaliation that echo through generations. But hope endures. Across Africa, conservationists and scientists work tirelessly to safeguard these apex hunters and the ecosystems they shape. Protected corridors are being restored, linking reserves and allowing wildlife to roam as they once did. Cutting-edge technology, from satellite collars to AI-powered monitoring, tracks predator movements, revealing hidden patterns and offering new strategies for coexistence. Crucially, the survival of Africa's predators is inseparable from the fate of biodiversity itself. Each lion's roar, each pack's pursuit, maintains a delicate balance, controlling herbivore numbers, preventing overgrazing, and nurturing the wild mosaic of plant and animal life. Remove the predators, and the web unravels. setting off a cascade of loss that reaches even the smallest insects and rarest flowers. The story of Africa's predators is not just one of struggle, but of resilience and renewal. Their future will be determined by our choices, by the value we place on wildness, diversity, and the ancient pulse of life that endures beneath the African sky. As the horizon beckons, the fate of these magnificent hunters and the wild heart of Africa itself hangs in the balance, a legacy still within our power to protect.